Shalom. Call Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers that's doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than never. All right, the would-be judges, the Tabernacle of David, which are set up by who the world fraudulently and falsely calls JC, all right, to be the new government here on earth above all nations, above all people, just like it says in Deuteronomy 7:6. All nations will be beneath and bend the knee to the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven will be here on earth, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. That is what is written. That is what is going to happen. All right. To the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations, this is not a black only thing. All right. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm coming at you with a quick lesson. And yeah, I'm up in Lincoln Park and I'm getting phone calls and text messages about how ISIS is making movements on the east side over there. And the east side is where I live, and the east side is probably about 80% Northern Kingdom. And seems that the east side was the last place that they came. From what I understand, that they were outside of Washington high school and grammar school, you know, harassing, snatching up, who knows what else they're doing. And this whole thing, that's just one of the issues. Then you got the issue going on with America and Venezuela, and then you have the thing going on with Gaza and the Israelis, and you also have the thing in the whole South China Sea. That's never really calmed down. They're just not talking about it too much. And you still have what's going on in between the Russians and the Ukrainians, which is bringing the whole world into this thing. And you best believe all these are the plans of Bibi Milikovsky. All right, these are their plans, which are being followed and enforced and funded by America. That is what's happening. That is exactly what is happening. And I've been saying for years now that that is going to be America and the Israelis against the whole world. Okay, see if I can grab a scripture. And Salaki, I'm operating with, I don't have my equipment with me, so I don't even have my stand. I'm holding the camera and hold my other phone to, you know, to get scriptures and whatever ever else I need. All right, but I think it's a Revelations. Just give me a sec here. Nope, that's not it. Just bear with me for a second. And let's see. Okay, didn't find it that way. There we go. Yeah, this is Revelation 17:16, and it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." And why is it saying that? Because that fire is talking about ICBMs. All right. That's what it's talking about, and no one wants to hear that. And people you best believe the people are not prepared for what's about to happen. They think that everything is okay, and everything is far from okay. All right, let me grab this video, because all the nations are eventually going to annihilate and wipe America off the face of the earth. Thus says the Bible, not me. All right, the Bible clearly says that, and that America is the beast, and the beast system is ran and controlled by Edom. All right, the Lord says and why? And what it all ultimately comes down to is the controversy of Zion. All right, because you got these people that are trying to force their own kingdom of heaven, their own version of the kingdom here on earth, but while claiming to be the people of the Lord, and the whole world knows they're not. All right, I just did a video on the Critical Race Historical Facts channel showing you relics from 3,000 years ago of Egyptians being, people of swarthy complexion, so-called black in nature, in appearance. All right, the Israelites came up. You remember the Israelites went into Egypt, 70 people, and came out millions. So these were the Israelites was not a pale race of people at all, and these people trying to make claim to something that they're not is utterly ridiculous at this point. Okay, but this is Isaiah 34:8, and it reads, "For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion." So the controversy of who the Israelites are and all the wickedness that's being done to them, let alone the rest of the world, but what's being done to hit the apple of his eye, which is his real concern, the Lord has a problem with that. And the end result is Revelation 17:16. He said he's going to burn them with fire, man. It's going to happen. There's no way around it. All right. Let me pull up this video from my on-the-spot reporter, April O'Neil. But this is, what's his name? Shahid Bolson. And it's about a 5-minute video. I'm just going to kind of speed through it. Hold on.
It has more or less no chance of winning. The entire... But they're just annoying to the district attorney. They're annoying to the judge. They're annoying to the system. And the lawyer who works for the system knows that his client's only realistic option is to take the deal that's on offer. So his job is no longer to so-called defend his client, but to convince his client to settle, to take the deal. Because the lawyer, at the end of the day, doesn't want to sour his relationship with the DA, with the judge, with the system, by wasting everyone's time and wasting everyone's money by defending a clearly guilty client in court who has no chance of winning. And Israel absolutely has no chance of winning. The entire world is in agreement that Israel has committed genocide in Gaza. There is no coming back from this. So you've got someone like Stephen Witkoff, for example. Well, he works for the GCC. Witkoff works for the GCC. Trump works for the GCC. Tony Blair works for the GCC. They are, like if you take the lawyer-client analogy, Trump, Witkoff, Blair, okay, they work for the A National OCGFC law firm. That's who they work for. And that law firm includes the GCC, it includes Saudi Arabia, China, BRICS, as their senior partners. You understand? Those are the senior partners in the A National OCGFC law firm. And you know how some law firms, they only deal in certain areas of the law, like contracts or taxes or what have you. Well, the A National OCGFC law firm deals with primarily real estate development, business contracts, mergers and acquisitions, partnership deals, and so on. They don't do criminal.
All right, so let's pause it there. When he's talking about A Nationals, he's talking about people with the big money who could care less about your country, your flag, or anything. The only thing that's important to them is the bottom line. Okay? The bottom line. And the A Nationals, for the most part, happen to be little hats. And they don't really hold an alliance to any country. The flag and all that stuff, it's all bravado and it's all distraction. What they really hold alliance to is their pocketbooks. So they don't care about your American flag, your Israeli flag, whatever flag you're flying. All right? What they care about is controlling who's ever in power. All right? These are the people that control those that are in power. And that power is being wielded through the little hats, all right, through BB and through America. They have completely taken over and control America, all right, which got control over the whole compass of the earth. That is the beast system. And they're about to set up that beast system, and the things that they're doing, all right. Now you got to remember the story I played the other day about the mayor down in Louisiana that has it all set up to where his law enforcement are going to arrest the law-breaking ICE people, all right? And me coming from a neutral perspective, because I really don't give a flying, you know what. But looking at the law of the land and understanding the law of the land and where we are, right, that we are in America, well, just to be honest and to be outside, look, they are breaking the law of the land, okay? The law of the land clearly states that there is no statute, all right, there is no code, no statute that you can enforce that can impede the law of the land, which is the U.S. Constitution. Any statute, any code that you try to make supersede the law of the land is an unlawful order. So so it's not that this didn't begin with Trump. This goes back, and there's a lot of things that are being done to Americans that they've allowed to happen. So this isn't anything that's new. This has been going on for quite some time now. Okay, this has been going on for quite some time. Okay, let me grab another video. And I think it will be this one.
Sides are spending a fortune on military. I think neither side really wants to have, a terrorist organization enclaved right between them. And Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate.
So as you see, this is yet another controlled narrative. So that people that are guilty of blood and bloodlust and doing horrific things all in the name of money, while claiming it's in the name of safety and peace, all right, that they can profit. And the A nationals are behind all of it. And the A nationals, once again, like BlackRock and the other organization, Vanguard, those are all ruled over and controlled by the little hats.
Situation there, but I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterwards.
Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize, by the way, for the planned ethnic cleansing,
one after
so that they could
bombed
profit
a lot of people
on the land and turn it into a beach town. So let me say this. This is our never again. Okay? This is a Holocaust. A Holocaust just happened. A real Holocaust just happened. And we will never forget this. You need to tell your children what happened in Gaza. You need to tell them exactly who did it, exactly whose families were involved in this. And when you hear in the future somebody tell you...
Now, while she was saying that, something flashed across the screen from Kim Iverson that said this is treason. And it actually is. And now you're having military units that are actually verbally standing up against these unlawful orders. Look. America is headed for another civil war. They're going to create this chaos, the bloodshed, and it's going to get so bad out here, all right, with the lack of food, the lack of medical care, the lack of law enforcement. I'm in a park where people just walking around and, women are walking by. They won't be able to do that, man. All right, it's not going to be, these are the last moments of what is perceived as normal. And the truth of the matter is, it's far from normal right now. Okay? And so now, you're having issues with the military now, because it is all military people and law enforcement take a oath, all right, to uphold the law of the land, which is the Constitution, and to actually arrest and resist those, including domestic ones, including domestic leaders that try to force their own hand. All right, you got a No King's Day coming up soon. All right, I think it's this weekend where people are not, and that's going to be nationwide. All this is orchestrated to bring on the chaos, so that they can bring forth the MOTB. All right, this is why they're doing that. I think George over there burying his food. Okay, that's what this is all about. All right, so that the order ab chaos, to bring the order out of chaos, so that they can bring the MOTB. That's what it's coming down to. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this and get a few more scriptures and wrap it up.
We're going to Gaza Beach for a vacation. You need to look at them like they are the absolute vermin of our society, because they are. They are. Their children will be cursed, okay? If you go and you play in the sand where you know that your forefathers planned to mass murder children, you will be cursed.
Okay, and they have been doing so. All right, so let's get a couple scriptures. All right, let's get some scriptures now. And I think I did read that Isaiah. Yeah, I read that one. Matter of fact, let's read Isaiah 34:5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, upon the people of my curse." See, and these are Idumeans. This is a chief house of Idumea, the Amalekites. The Amalekites are masquerading as the Israelites on earth today, right now. All right, and I got some serious condemning evidence that Lord's will I will present in a video either later on today or tomorrow, that you should tune in just so you can screenshot the receipts. All right, because when J.D. Rockefeller and Hillary Clinton said what they said about the internet is their enemy. AI is actually their enemy. Even though they try to program and control it, you just have to know the right questions to ask. All right, and boy, you'll see. You'll see. But let's go to Ezekiel 35. And 5, and it reads, "Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end." See, so when our punishment was up, they continued and continued. They still kept pounding. All right, they still kept, stepping on our necks, man. All right, they kept the beating going. And when it stopped physically, they did it financially, right? By controlling and ensuring, that we would never be able to rise up. And then when Jake did rise up here in America, especially Judah, and built their black neighborhoods that actually were far better than many of the other neighborhoods that were here in Chicago that housed, called the Cajuns of Caw. What did they do? They systematically went throughout America over about a 4 or 5 year period in the early 19th century, between like 1908 and 1921, 22, and they systematically destroyed and burned down more than 200 towns where so-called black people lived that were living prosperously post-slavery without education. Why? Because the Jakes knew how to do everything. They did all the work that so-called made America great. All right? And they didn't get called lazy and ghetto and all that until they weren't working for free anymore. All right? So let's get this last scripture. Again, it says, "Because thou hast had perpetual hatred and have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time when their iniquity is at an end," jumping to verse 7, "Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut it off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth." So look, man, and there's no way out of this. This thing has to happen, man. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop what's going on. This is a reality that you just got to come to face with it. All right. There's no way around this thing, man. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash, Kwam Yasharala, Abba Babal.